Well, I recently wrote an article for Velocitize, and I think the caption was something along those lines, will PWAs replace the App Store? And it's admittedly a bit hyperbolic.
Hello, this is Velocitize Talks, and I'm Eric Jones. I'm here with Ben Howerton, the agency principal for DevMethods, one of the leading WordPress agencies in Georgia. Ben, it's great to have you.
Likewise, great to be here, Eric. Thank you.
Yeah, trust, I think is one of those things that underpins so much of the modern world. As we scale to, the digital world, obviously the scope of that becomes so much bigger. What role do you think agencies play in sort of helping to establish that digital trust?
Well, at a technology level, we need to choose technologies that are reliable and trustworthy. The technology industry's had some black eyes lately, obviously, and I think that's where, again, not to continue to talk about the blockchain, but I think that's a good step forward in ensuring, kind of taking the responsibility for your data security away from the owner of the data and putting it on, a reliable public ledger like that. So I think you're going to see more and more agencies implementing blockchain solutions.
You've done some really, really cutting edge work on the mobile web. Wondered if you could talk about some of the case studies and examples that you've done for clients like Cox Media.
Sure, that's a good one. We started out creating websites for them. They're everybody's heard of Cox Media, but they also do sport websites, college football websites specifically, which I wasn't aware of until they became a client. So we helped them build a mobile presence, or web presence, and then mobile web presence. And then we decided it was time to build apps. So we started building native applications. And then right along the time we started to, get benefit out of those, progressive web apps came on the scene, PWAs. Everybody's probably heard of that by now, but it's a nice blend between mobile web, responsive, and native applications. So we also implemented PWAs at Cox Media. And what that allowed them to do is create a frictionless way to have their users, quote unquote, install their apps without actually having to go to the App Store. That's one of the nice benefits of PWAs.
Do you think we're all that far off, as the traction sort of continues with PWA from not even having an App Store anymore?
Well, I recently wrote an article for Velocitize, and I think the caption was something along those lines, will PWAs replace the App Store? And it's admittedly a bit hyperbolic. I don't think that's going to happen. I think in certain contexts it makes sense. For example, a sports site or a news site where it's content heavy, but the functionality is not all that complex. PWAs shine in that context because PWAs provide things like offline support. I can get on a plane and I can still read articles that I've that already been downloaded to my app. They provide notifications, so a media publisher can now get back to you when there's new publications that may or may not interest you. And just not having to go through the App Store process and have users actually install something on their phone reduces friction, increases adoptability. Now, in other spaces like gaming, of course, or applications that use a lot of the peripherals and hardware on the physical phone probably are never going to become PWAs. Well, I can't say never, but not in the near future. They're going to stay as native applications. So that's a long answer to your question, but no, I don't think it's going to replace it.
So we've had some pretty good traction in the media industry with PWAs. Are there other industries that you think are ripe for the adoption of PWAs as a solution?
One where I've seen it so far is social applications, like Twitter has a PWA, where again, I think they're trying to go for the zero frictionless install. For folks who just don't want to install apps or don't feel like they have room on their device, PWAs are a perfect fit.
Where do you think we are from a personalization spectrum right now? It's been said we're going to have one website for 1 billion people, and we're rapidly approaching a period of extreme personalization where we'll have 1 billion different websites for one person. How are you beginning to think about those opportunities for your clients at DevMethods?
This could be a segue into machine learning. We've started to do, again, very early analysis of published content to create a model that can help us determine the sentiment of the article or the sentiment of the viewers, and ultimately to better predict what they might want to read next. This is, again, very early stage for us. I don't have any great information to tell you about it other than we feel like it's something we absolutely need to pursue.
That was Ben Howerton with DevMethods. Ben, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.